Hello, I'm W.L. McCoy. Some call me the Ol Kentuckian. Come with me as I take a journey through the early days of Kentucky, and we'll explore a little bit about the history of the dark and the bloody ground. The Long Hunters, Daniel Boone, Simon Kenton, but there were others. The Skaggs brothers, the Graham brothers. They were all here very early on. We'll talk about Benjamin Lynn and Lynn Camp Creek and the hunts. So come with me now as we journey through the old Kentucky. I think you'll enjoy it. I wanted to talk to you today about the importance of iron in the early settlement of Kentucky. We're on the very headwaters of part of Lynn Camp Creek, which was named after Benjamin Lynn, one of the Long Hunters. Served as a captain under George Rogers Clark and was important in this area of Kentucky. I'm here in Hart County, and just downstream, this runs into the main part of Lynn Camp Creek. You had an iron furnace that was eventually built there by the name of Aetna furnace. And a few miles away, my ancestors, the Graham brothers at Graham Station, also had an iron furnace on Brush Creek in Greene County. And this is what they were looking for. When the first Long Hunters came into Kentucky, they had their eye out for things other than deer and game that they were hunting and skinning and taking back, but they also had their eyes out for raw materials. This is iron ore. And iron ore was actually mined on this part of the farm that I own here in Hart County. And this is just some of the examples of it that you can see in the creek down here. Now, there are parts of it that you have much larger rocks that they would dig out, transport over to the Aetna furnace or the furnace at Brush Creek. They would fire it in the kiln and get what they called pig iron. The very first furnaces that were in Kentucky, I think, were built around the early 1790s and up into the early 1800s. Some of it was used during the War of 1812. In fact, just south of here, on another part of Lynn Camp Creek, there was the powder mills, which they made gunpowder for the War of 1812. Just something I wanted to share with you today. Something that you could look at. It's very heavy. This is what the natural iron looks like here in Hart County, Kentucky. Thank you for joining me. Okay, I'm sitting on one of the larger iron-bearing rocks that's on this branch of the Camp Creek. This would be the kind of rocks that they would be looking for. They're outcroppings. It's really, the iron is in a sandstone conglomerate. It's mixed in with sandstone and some other rocks. I guess millions of years ago it was part of an ancient riverbed, but the iron mixed in with some of these other rocks, and it's not as rich as the iron is up in, say, Minnesota, but at one time I think Kentucky was one of the largest iron producing states in the colonies. Actually, when Kentucky would have been the first state in 1792.